All right, happy Sunday afternoon, everybody. Welcome on into Diamond Time, coming to you live from the Raiderland World Headquarters. Glad you're with us today. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza because when your team gets swept in Arizona, Phoenix specifically by Grand Canyon, you need some great pizza maybe to wash out the taste. So call up Domino's tonight, order it on the app, get it wherever you're going to get it. I highly recommend the New York style pizza that they've got. It's really good stuff. But hey, get what you want. Just make sure you take care of your cravings with Domino's Pizza. All right, we'll let a few folks get in. You know what to do. The early arrivals. Let us know the audio is good, video is good. Thumbs up in the comments section, and then share it with your friends. We'll talk a little baseball today. All the comments brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street. Great supporters of Texas Tech here in West Texas. Yeah, Grand Canyon wins at 4-2. We'll get your thoughts, your comments. Obviously, things are not good nor ideal for Texas Tech baseball. But my friend Dan on Twitter moments ago at Ryan Hyatt Media asked, is there anything good? Yeah, there are a few good things. There are some good things. Is there hope? Yeah, there is hope. That's the beautiful thing about baseball, baby. For better or for worse, it's a long season. And we're about to find out if this is going to be one of those long seasons that Texas Tech turns from bad to good, as opposed to many I've seen over the years that start off really good and then just kind of, and it goes so well. Let's do it tonight. Get your comments in. 3, 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt. TheRaiderland.com is where you start your day every day on our website. Original columns, content, and everything else that you can imagine. It's waiting for you, including today with our not 3, not 7. That would be far too many, but 5 things we know on a Sunday column. So check it out at TheRaiderland.com. As we mentioned, we're brought to you by Domino's Pizza, great supporters of everything we do here in Raiderland. Glad you're with us tonight, this evening, as we look back over the weekend of Texas Tech baseball. We get your thoughts, your comments, and where this team is right now and what's going on. So, product placement. Cheers to you. And by the way, my allergies are just incredibly crazy off the charts this week, from the dust, the dirt, the drizzle, the wind, then the sun, and everything else. So I apologize. Yes, I'm scratching my nose. I'm doing all I can to hang in there with you tonight. All right. So today we'll go today first, and then we'll back up and go a little bigger picture. You can give us your thoughts, comments, and questions. 4-2. Really good college baseball game for a Sunday. Typically, Sunday games can get out of hand. You get into the back end of a little bit of bullpen action and everything else. It gets a little frayed. That was not the case today. Zane Petty pitching effectively, and there's some of your good. Another quality start, 3 quality starts out of the last either 4 or 5 starts for Texas Tech starting pitchers. So after a rough couple of weeks to start the season, the starting pitching rounded in, and he executed pitches. He did what you want a guy to do against a good baseball team, an NCAA tournament caliber team, WAC champions. You see literally writing on the wall out there at Grand Canyon. I thought he pitched really well. The book on him, it's got to be fastball first and then a mix. And I thought really today he had a curveball that was absolutely spectacular and really working effectively against left-handers. I liked what I saw in Zane Petty today. But again, unfortunately, victimized today by the defense. And in a low-scoring, close game, all it takes is one miscue here and there. And we saw one in the bottom of the 4th with Dylan Maxey behind the plate, a delayed steal by Grand Canyon. He double clutches, he thinks too much, and then he uncorks one into center field. And the next thing you know, not so good. Back to Petty, the 60 pitches through 4 innings should be the absolute blueprint for Texas Tech starters, and that's what allowed him to be really effective. The starters early on had been throwing way too many pitches, not executing, not getting out of innings. He didn't do that, so that's a really good thing today. All right, Brianna says, good afternoon. We say good evening to you because it's after 5 o'clock, so it's good evening where we are. Beyond that, again, Jack Siebert comes in relief, started the year as a starter, comes in relief today, and I thought he executed a lot of pitches pretty well. He goes 2 innings. He gets the loss. He gives up the go-ahead run there in the 7th. But again, we see, in the top of the 7th, a base running blunder. by Texas Tech and Kyler Thompson, maybe cost you a run there. And then, he's pitching effectively. Two hits in 2 innings, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. That's not bad. And Parky closes it out, does give up an earned run there in the 8th. And we see another defensive miscue. And sadly, it was Ryan Coleman making it. I say that because the dude was all over the field making plays today, running out there into center, left center, and making plays and everything else. But again, on a low throw down in the dirt, it allows that 4th run to score. Turns out to be, I guess, what you might say inconsequential, but still the defense was rough. Hitting today, not much of it. TJ Pompey moved him up in the order. I thought it was interesting. Tim Tadlock continues to press buttons. Jump him up there. He goes 2 for 4 on the day, gets a double. Texas Tech with 2 doubles on the day. No home runs for the entire weekend out there in Phoenix for the Red Raiders. And then Dylan Maxey also gets a pair of hits, including a double. Nothing like watching a catcher stretch a triple into a double. I'm just kidding. And that was after the error, by the way, the throwing error. He comes back and gets a double, so he picks you up there. But this lineup just didn't connect, didn't stretch out today, didn't do much of anything. Didn't do much of anything. So you get offense one night, you don't have defense. You get pitching, you don't have offense, and that's how you end up with 3 wins on the season right now for Texas Tech. This team just cannot put everything together on a single day for the most part in order to win it. And I do think that they're incredibly fragile right now. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. And Chris, who jumps in on Facebook, by the way, Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't cost nothing, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. If everybody on Facebook and Twitter today went and subscribed to our YouTube channel, you don't have to watch it there. Just watch it where you want. You can get in all your comments anywhere you're watching today at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter. But that would thrust us mightily over the 500 number, and boom, it's cool stuff on the analog, analytics, whatever they call it, algorithm, the algorithm, because he invented the internet. Hayward now about 7 years, maybe. I'm trying to think whether it was around 16, 17. I'm going to go 16, 17, right in through there, where he transitions to a special consultant, obviously still working with the team, but not the pitching coach designate. And then a couple of years ago, he just had horrific health problems. We nearly lost him. God bless Ray Hayward and the heart battles that he fought. He was out there this weekend, by the way. And it's funny you mentioned it because I wanted to mention his appearance on the Tech Network pregame show. And I thought he did a great analysis, primarily speaking about the Tech pitching, but really I think it's the whole team. And talking about how this team, and I'm paraphrasing greatly here, but really, they've been pressing too much. And they just need to relax. And talking about pitchers, just relax and execute a pitch. Don't worry about giving up a hit. Don't worry about being perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Don't worry about things, but make pitches and don't let things compound. Now, other than the 10-run 8th, was it the 8th Friday night? The pitching this weekend was good enough to win, I thought. All right? I thought. But again, untimely errors. Is there another kind? Situational hitting through the 7th today. 1 for 7 runners in scoring position. All of those things, little things. But Ray Hayward really summed up where I think this team is really fragile mentally. Unlike any Tech team I've really seen in the Tim Tadlock era, this team is just fragile, it feels like. That if something bad happens, then something bad is going to happen again, and it's going to happen again. And that they're pressing, and the hitters are pressing, that everybody is pressing. And maybe this schedule was a bridge too far, but I understand why they did it. One, they believe, and I think still believe, they have a talented roster and a good team that can handle a schedule like this. And they expected more than 3 wins, and they should have got more than 3 wins. 2, the Big 12 is not going to help you out from an RPI standpoint this year. The Big 12 as a league is way down. You may not have a Big 12 team ranked tomorrow in D1Baseball.com, and that's the one we use for our rankings with Kendall's bunch. You may not have a Big 12 team ranked. That ain't good. But that does mean that there could be wins to be found, and that if you have survived, and I think they're coming out maybe this week with their first RPI from D1 baseball, again, the only one I trust. People are going to be shocked on the strength of schedule. They're going to be shocked where the RPI is, and if they'd only gotten a few more wins, it would be vastly different. But I thought Hayward summed it up about the fragility of this team right now. James giving us thumbs up. Well, thank you. Lynn jumping in there. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Hope it's been a good weekend. Hi, Michelle. She knows a little bit about Great Domino's Pizza. Give her store a call, too, here in Lubbock. John gets in on YouTube, our YouTube channel, where we should have at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. All right? I'm putting that on you guys. So is it already sights on next season for Tech baseball? No, not at all. Because, again, you're going to have an RPI and a strength of schedule that will allow you, if you can get over 500, if you can get to over 500, it will allow you to be playing for a 2 or a 3 seed. Now that begs the question, do I think this team can get over 500? I do. I still believe in the talent on this team. This team is more talented than last year, I believe. Has the lineup stretched out? No, it has not. Has the pitching been consistent enough? No, it has not. Has the defense been atrocious at times? Yes, it has. Can those things change? And that's one of the questions we ask. And I'll look over the next 3 weeks in the month of March. You need to go out and get you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You need to go out and get about 8 wins. You need to go about 8-3. You need to go win two Big 12 series. Not drop anything in the midweek. You need to do that. Can they do that? I believe it's possible. Would I bet it right now? No, that would be pure folly based on what we've seen, right? But this team is better than its record. Let's see. Back to the comments. You can get in thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street. Was there yesterday getting all the cool groceries and everything, because that's what we get, cool groceries. Blueberries, fresh blueberries. Looked really good. Maybe they need to go play in the Sandlot for a few days and just be kids again. If you've seen the movie Bull Durham, they need a rain out, baby. I can get you a rain out. $40 says I can get you a rain out. They need a rain out, and since they're college kids, I'm not going to say ice capades. But that's why I'm looking at my calendar up there, and I see 1, 2, 3, several days of blank spaces when it comes to Tech baseball, and that's probably what they need. A mental break from this early part of the schedule, and you go from there, and you go to Houston. And if you go to Houston and take the series, you feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. You feel completely different. Yeah, they need a break. He is the fake Natalie Maines, unless it's the real Natalie Maines, which is entirely possible. Dear Hyatt, how are you? I'm good, and I'm glad you're fine. What's going on with baseball? Is it funded as well this year versus years past? It's because the sport has shifted to softball and other sports. Thank you for the sports that you give us. I give you the sports, just so you know. Love you. Love you too. Okay, this is a bigger 50,000-foot question. Are Texas Tech's baseball facilities behind the curve in nationally? Yes. Have they fallen behind over the last 20 years? Yes. Has money gone to football? Has money gone to other places? Absolutely. The facilities are not high quality. I think Tim Tadlock, the first couple of years of the transfer portal and NIL, I don't know that he was reluctant to use it. I know that they didn't want to. They felt like they had a really good strategy of bringing in high school players and bringing in good players. And you saw that with Josh Young, Jace Young, and you saw that with a lot of the pitchers. And you grow them up and you hold on to them. Well, it changed. They embraced that philosophy more this past year. Look at the number of transfers. Look at the number of players coming in. And I believe that they embraced the NIL game much more this year than in the past maybe 2 seasons, we would say, for college baseball. But I think one of the bigger questions is, are they fighting with a short stick when it comes to facilities? 100%. Absolutely 100%. Tyler, there's not a lot to like about this team. I can find a lot of things to like. Gardner has to go. Yes, the same guy who's put in more pitchers into the big leagues than Tim Tadlock has put hitters into the big leagues in pro baseball. But yeah, he's got to go. Tadlock needs to evolve his staff. Have to wonder if that lifetime contract is showing why they aren't very good, but aren't very smart. So, Tyler, your position here is that Tim Tadlock is lazy and he's comfortable and he doesn't want to win. Because that's what you're saying. He's lazy, he's comfortable, he doesn't want to win, he's forgotten how to win, he doesn't know how to evaluate talent, and he doesn't want to do it. Now, if that's your position, that's fine, but that's what you're saying when you say that. Let me say this right now. Tim Tadlock gets every benefit of the doubt. Every benefit of the doubt. He's got skins on the wall. He's done more with Texas Tech baseball, obviously, than anybody in the history of the program. He has achieved at the highest of levels. He's won conference championships. He's gone to the College World Series. If you look over the last decade, good luck finding, anybody that's achieved more other than the teams that have gone and won national championships. If you don't think that guy can coach, that's fine. I will tell you right now, I will give him every benefit of the doubt. And if at the end of the year Texas Tech doesn't make the NCAA tournament, then I will look at Tim Tadlock and go, what do you want to do? You tell me, because I know he can coach baseball. I know he can recruit. I know he can evaluate talent. Chris, I keep hearing NIL is killing us in baseball. Any insight to that? I don't think it's killing you. I think the money was available this past year, and they proved it, as I said, by going out and getting a lot of transfers. You're not getting hurt on that. I think it's more facilities. Now, I will say that early on that I think Texas Tech was slow to move into the transfer portal era, and into the transfer era. And they've shown me in the last year or so that they're more than willing to do that. You know what they call that? Lollygaggers. You lollygag in the infield. You lollygag in the outfield. You lollygag in the lollygaggers. It's amazing we've won 3 games. They're young. Scare them. I can just quote the movie all day long if we want to. Chris, I'm trying not to be football guy, but this team has been frustrating to watch. No, you're not football guy when you say that. You're baseball guy when you say that. This team has been amazingly frustrating to watch because they're better than the outcomes that they've generated, even with this schedule. That it's been there, that they're better. Hey, I'll give you TJ Pompey in the field, that you're trying to hide the guy, that you can't figure out where to put him. And he played some nice third base this weekend. This was a guy, when he came in, there was no doubt about the glove. It was, can he hit at this level? All of a sudden now the dude, struggles with fielding. You're not football guy when you say this team is frustrating to watch. 100%. Randy gets in on Facebook. Here's the deal. Look, here's the deal. I can't do Ross Perot anymore. Now, looky here. Here's the deal. Let me tell you, here's the deal. Tadlock will have more success once the grass starts growing. He's been known to mow his own yard, and that's how he deals with stress. He's a man of the people. He's also a coach whose teams have inherently gotten better as the year goes on. He's not afraid to push buttons and change things. And generally, it's been late April before even the College World Series teams or your Big 12 championship teams really fleshed themselves out into who they were going to be. And we saw that again, even today, with the lineup changes and moving Pompey up and moving some things around. Tim Tadlock's not a guy who just rolls it out there and says, "Hey, this is it. I'm so smart. I'm not going to change anything." I've never seen a guy more willing to adjust and change at the college level than Tadlock. You got a lot of that from Larry Hayes, by the way. Larry Hayes wasn't afraid to change things. Tyler coming back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what you just said. He has not used the portal like other schools and has not been a vocal advocate for money and facilities. Tim Tadlock is not going to go crying to you or the media or a Facebook page. He has fought very hard for facilities. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you, Tyler. Now, what you are saying, though, is that if you want Matt Gardner gone, Matt Gardner's the same guy that identified and coached all those pitchers that are pitching in pro ball. They were out there this weekend, like Parker Mashinsky and guys like that. But that's what you're saying, even though you may not think that's what you're saying. Now, Tim Tadlock has adjusted his approach. He went to the portal this year. He went last year, he went more this year. But if you don't think he's been a vocal advocate inside, you're wrong. Now, if you want him crying and whimpering outside, then tell me that. Do you want him to do a press conference? Because if he goes into a press conference and he goes out and details all the problems behind the scenes that Texas Tech baseball has been facing over the last couple of years, immediately fans will turn on him and say he's making excuses and he's a whiner. So you're wrong on that. Does baseball have a Blanchard type position? No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. I don't think so. Which, at some point you'll reach, maybe all of your sports will have some sort of like a player personnel director. Maybe if you've got enough revenue to do it, if you've got enough money. Alan gets in on our YouTube channel, even though I know he's a Facebook guy, but he's so behind what we do. He jumps in on YouTube just to drive YouTube. He likes it. He shares it. Tadlock gets as much time as he needs to rebuild. Tech needs to renovate Danlaw Field and modernize the facilities. I have no idea about NIL for baseball. Maybe find a guy to fund the team next year. You got Sellers back into softball. See, maybe hey, you got two guys making pretty good bank in the bigs right now. Maybe you need your big leaguers, all of your guys in the majors, to come in, a little bit of their salary and kick it back. All right, Josh? All right, Jace? Some of those guys that are out there. Now, some of them aren't making like millions and millions of dollars, but you do have enough guys making some pretty good money in Major League Baseball that they could create their own diamond club. And by the way, this exists at other schools, and kick a little back. Now, this is just now beginning over the last 5-10 years that Texas Tech has had enough players and high profile enough players and everything else, guys that weren't just on 10-day contracts. But that would be something I would love to see. Some of these players really begin to create something like that. But as for there just being a guy, who is that guy? It could be Tyler, by the way. For all I know, Tyler's rolling in dough. Yeah. Tyler gets all the time he wants from me. All the rope he wants. Sorry, if you don't like it, you can go probably find other podcasts and other shows and other media people that'll feed the beast and say, yep, game is passed and by. Yep, that lifetime contract, by gosh. That's what did it. Because, that's just who Tim Tadlock is. You get a lifetime contract and you don't work as hard. You don't care as much anymore. I mean, that's obviously Tim Tadlock. I've always thought that when I was calling his games when he was playing and I was a student and I was announcing his games on the radio, I always thought, if this guy ever gets a lifetime contract, he's going to be so comfortable and lazy that it's never going to work out. God, I hope Grayson doesn't do that for him when he gets there. Oh, man. It's all right, though. It's all good. Okay, so Houston coming up. Nothing about Houston that tells me you can't roll in there and get a couple of victories. Then again, nothing tells me about this Texas Tech team that you can't roll in there and get swept, right? What's the rotation going to look like? That's a really good question. We'll probably hear from Tadlock this week. They did not use Tyler Boudreau today. I thought they might throw him a little after his really quality midweek start. I thought they might throw him a little to maybe set up next Sunday. By not throwing him, he's set up on Friday if you want to go that route, or you could keep Hewer there, or you could move Boudreau. I think Boudreau's going to start this weekend for Tech. I'd like to see him punch the buttons, throw him out there. And then what I saw out of Zane Petty today said if you gave me a Mac Hewer, Zane Petty, and Tyler Boudreaux starting rotation, go with that. And figure it out after that. The middle relief, well, really, the relief has just been so hit and miss. And that was the thing like last night or the other night. No, it was Friday night with Crotchfeld. After having 3 really great outings, all of a sudden, boom, it disappears. That you're seeing guys with 1 good outing, 1 bad outing, 2 good outings, 1 bad. I don't know where to tell you where to go. I mean, if I'm Matt Gardner and Tim Tadlock, I'm sitting there going, who do we get up? I don't know. Who looked good at breakfast this morning? Who was happy? Whose girlfriend are they getting along with? I don't know. That's got to flesh out, though, over the next few weeks. And typically that's how it does. Big 12 scores today. And by the way, I'm going to give you some scores, and this is going to tell you again how much different the Tech non-conference schedule has been, playing teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament versus what other Big 12 teams are doing and putting up some false records. Kansas State beating William and Mary today. That's right. William and Mary won't do. I'm never going back to my old school. 20-6. Kennesaw State, just not enough today for West Virginia. Morgantown wins 14-7. UCF and Monmouth. The Monmouth duo, if you know your Panhellenic history in sororities. Anybody know? 8-0 UCF over Monmouth. Oklahoma State, Illinois State, 25th ranked Cowboys win 16-1. Cincinnati and Canisius. Cincinnatus, Canisius. It's the Roman holiday. 12-1 over Canisius. Fresno State 6, TCU 12. That's a moderately legitimate team. Thank you, TCU. Baylor beats Loyola and Marymount 9-1. Houston over Grambling 13-4. Kansas beats Milwaukee 10-9. Arizona playing Pepperdine, again a moderately good team, sometimes 5-3. Utah losing to San Jose State 8-5. And then it's Gonzaga and Arizona State today. They're in Phoenix. Arizona State wins 11-4. And then Oklahoma State gets the double dip 18-1 over Illinois State. Every team Texas Tech has played so far is better than every Big 12 team played this weekend, for the most part. There was no Merrimack on this schedule, no. Now, we can go back to the idea of the scheduling, why they didn't and everything else. They obviously felt like they would get more wins out of this. But what it does, it gives you a chance to recover. Mark my word, if this Texas Tech team gets to 500 or better, they will be in the mix for an NCAA tournament invite. And all you got to do is get in, baby. I mean, going into the season, you weren't sitting there thinking this was a top 8 national team. You're going, all right, first, get in the tournament. 2, if you can somehow get a top 16, that would be great. But it's going to be very hard to do with the Big 12 being down this year. So you're going to have to figure out ways to come through that. And what do? You play a really good non-conference schedule, which was what Texas Tech did in 17 and 18 by playing a power conference team out of every conference, a team out of every power conference. And a lot of those on the road. I do want to go back one thing. Ray Hayward is just a gem. By the way, when you listen to him, it sounds like a mix between Sam Elliott and Jerry Jeff Walker when you listen to Ray Hayward. And he had the great context of the start of the season and how things can change for teams. Talking about that Michigan team from a few years ago. What was that? Was it 19? I think it was 19. The Texas Tech beats them in Lubbock, sweeps them. Michigan starts 1-9 there with Bakich as the head coach. Tech sweeps them in Lubbock, and then who's knocking you out of the College World Series a few months later as the team rounded into form? There you go. Am I saying that's going to be Tech this year? No, I'm not. But I'm just trying to reiterate one more time the long-form nature of college baseball, baseball in general. College baseball is different from any other sport, okay? And you've got to take that approach if you want to enjoy the sport. If you don't, it's going to be hard for you. The conference tournament winner gets the auto bid out of the Big 12. And I hope that we don't go into that this year hoping that Texas Tech has to win it. That would not be good. Which in baseball, but then what would be the point of the postseason tournament if you didn't give an auto bid to the tournament winners? So yeah, but yeah, you can have bid stealers even in college baseball. Hey, huge week of shows coming up this week. The daily broadcast is back with you tomorrow night live, 6:30 Central. Dave Almond from Bracketville.wordpress.com will be along. We're going to talk about what Texas Tech can get out of the Big 12 tournament, where he thinks Texas Tech will land on the NCAA seed line. Bracketville.wordpress.com. You need to go there. They're as good as it gets. There are only two that we pay attention to. Our friend Dave, who we've had on numerous times, and then Chad Sherwood's group at hoopshd.com. Both of them are great. Both of them you need to pay attention to. I think both of them we'll probably visit with over the next few days. So we got that going on. We're going to have Will Hill from Vegas Stats and Information Network. He's a big college college basketball guy as well. We're going to talk about the Big 12 tournament. We're also going to help you guys out on maybe a little March Madness, how to pick teams, and perhaps if you're into the sports wagering, the do's and don'ts, because college basketball tournaments are different and the NCAA tournament is different than night-to-night college basketball. So I think Will Hill is going to join us on Tuesday. And then after that, who knows what's going to happen. It gets weird. It gets weird after that on Wednesday and Thursday. But we're going to have a great week of shows for you. So I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Follow us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. And obviously, our Facebook page is huge, and you guys can follow us on that one as well. And we will be with you in the morning with our column for Good, Bad, and Ugly Monday. So get ready to recap all of that. Let's see. Gary, any report on Perko injury from yesterday? I did not hear anything on the pregame or on the Tech broadcast. I heard no mention of it other than in passing on the ESPN Plus broadcast, which was like grandfather and grandson on the ESPN Plus broadcast this week. And if you listen to any of the audio, it's like the old guy and the kid the kid had great information. I'm not making fun of him anything, but you could tell there was a little bit of an age gap going on that broadcast. That's okay. Sort of like in the movie Major League with Bob Uecker and then the kid who was doing the color and everything else. So yeah, no report on the Perko injury. Who knows? I'm not even going to speculate. But last night, if you were Tim Tadlock, you had to be going, really? What else? We're going to get rained out? We've had games only go 8 innings. I'm losing pitchers in the first inning. Ridiculous. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks again to Domino's Pizza. Thanks again to everybody who's out there. Share this, put it out there. I'm going to have it on the website in just a little bit at theraiderland.com. You can share it from there. Y'all are the best. We'll see you in the morning on the site, theraiderland.com.